However, there are some exceptions. Oakland, San Francisco, and LA all charge between 1.61 and 0.56%. The average is 0.6%. So in California, we'd probably be looking around $2,010. Again, the national average is around 0.5%. So we'd be looking at $1,675. And the last one here is title insurance. Now, title companies, they don't really have a set percentage. They usually issue a chart, and then on that chart you just look up the value of the property, and then it will have a corresponding title insurance rate. So we looked up on a chart for a big title company in California, and they quoted around $2,000. Okay? Now, these fields also do have note blanks, so you could type in notes next to your amounts, and then those would appear on a final report. Now, you may have additional costs of sale, and we have left many blanks here that would allow you to enter additional costs of sale. We do have the most common ones kind of already outlined here, but there may be others as well. So that's the cost of sale. Now we're going to move on to payoffs, which would be the next expense category for our calculators. Now this deals with paying lenders off, paying any lien holders and things like that. Because when you sell real estate, you need to pay off all the liens first. Okay? So we'll go ahead and go through this together. Now what they're asking for is payee, amount, and then any notes you might have. So, one very common one will be a first mortgage. For our example, we'll go ahead and type in a first mortgage company, an amount of our loan, and that's that. Next, we'll have a second mortgage. Okay? And then a second mortgage amount. And there we go. Now that's probably what it's going to look like for most common real estate transactions. You'll have a first lender, a second lender, and that's about it. Some real estate transactions will have liens attached to the property. Some common ones would be, when you have a lien situation, would be tax liens and medical liens. So we'll go ahead and put in a couple liens for the property. The first one is our favorite. Well, our least favorite. Okay? The Internal Revenue Service. And we'll say we owe them $15,000. There could also be, say, a state taxing agency. And we could owe them some money. And finally, we could have a medical lien. Okay. And there we go. And then you could put in some notes if you needed to. So those are our payoffs to lenders and lien holders. And we've included some additional fields here that could be used for other things. Now the next thing we have is disclaimer text to print on a net sheet. This basically says we might have missed some things, and so just kind of be aware of that. You can use what we have here as a default example. You could type in something else that you wanted to, or you could just eliminate the whole thing altogether. And then the next one is initial lines. What this means is if you wanted to have the client initial a copy of this for the real estate file, you could put these lines on there, and then it would print so that they could initial. you could delete these out as well. So that's that. So now that we've completed it, of course we have our own disclaimer, and you want to go ahead and just check the box there if you agree to the disclaimer, and then finally click on submit. Okay, so we'll go ahead and click on submit here, and you'll see that the net sheet is produced. We have two different pages for this report. The first one itemizes out the expenses, and the second one prints a little bit more of a net sheet looking format. So you see here itemized expenses. There's our recommended price range. So you see kind of why we entered the symbols and the commas and things, so it makes it look nicer here. Otherwise it just looks a little bad. Here's our sales expenses, our real estate commission, our real estate transfer tax, and our title insurance. And then it adds those up for us and gives us a total. Next, we have our payoffs. Okay. Adds all those guys up and gives a total. And then the next one is the actual estimated net sheet. So what it says is estimated net sheet prepared for Bill and Lisa Jones for the address, gives a date, gives a target sales price, sales expenses, estimated net, payoffs, and then finally cash to seller. And then if we look over here, we'll see our target sales price $338,500, sales expenses $26,523. That produces an estimated net of $311,976. Payoffs $272,960. That means cash to seller $390,165. And then there's the agent's phone number and name. And then here's our disclaimer. Remember, we have the disclaimer entry. Okay. And then finally, the initial lines. So that is the estimated net sheet and net sheet generator for morecalculators.com. If you have any questions for us at morecalculators.com, just visit the morecalculators.com homepage and then scroll down until you find the morecalculators.com help center. So thank you very much and have a great day.